Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So let's jump right into it.
Okay. Super excited.
Yeah, me too. So I don't know if anybody's you don't know Kelly. Kelly is a women's wellness coach, and her company is called Lifting You Up. And today we're going to talk about stop using exercise as punishment and really go into some of the details of using your mindset, cultivating the mindset to reach your goals, and different movement techniques to help you get there too, to really free your body and your mind. So you want to kick us off, Kelly?
Yeah, of course. So, for those that don't know, I've worked in the fitness industry for about 5 years now, and obviously Megan works in the fitness industry as well. And so this is a topic that I've been wanting to cover for quite some time, and it's apparent everywhere. If you go into any gym, and maybe you have said this as well, you'll hear people saying like, "Oh, I was so bad this weekend. I really need to work out," or "I ate so bad last night. Like I had too much of XYZ. Like I really need to burn it off," or just coming from this place where it's like they're punishing themselves. And so that's the basis of what we're talking about today, because that's coming from a place that's very limiting. And no one wants to be punished. Remember when you were a child, like you don't want to be punished. And so when you come from that place, it sends like a signal to your body that's like, okay, this is a negative experience and it's not benefiting you. So essentially, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And those are like the realistic things that you kind of hear in the real world, and you might have said, or you might have heard, that we're going to kind of be touching on today. And so, yeah, coming from a place that's more empowering and how to view exercise and movement that actually will, like Megan said, feel like a freeing, empowering type of form, and something that you can express to your body, and make sure that it's working for your goals and wherever you want to go, whatever your wellness goals are. And so, yeah, Megan, why don't you talk about how you mentioned movement is freedom? And I love that when you talk about that. So go ahead and take it away.
Cool. So our bodies are made to move. We're made to run, jump, sit, stand, squat, bend, lunge. We're not made to be stagnant. And not only does a lack of movement cause tightnesses and imbalances in the body, it also inhibits us from doing the things that we love. So, so you have people train for uh, athletes train for events, runners train for distance. So why wouldn't we train for everyday life? Like, why wouldn't we train to get our posture uplifted? And why wouldn't we train to be able to turn and run fast to help somebody? And why wouldn't we train to be able to help somebody lift a couch? And then, in turn, why wouldn't we train to create discipline within our minds and train to boost our confidence at the same time? So exercise doesn't always have to have that intention of like, oh, I ate something bad, I got to work it off. Or an exercise doesn't even have to have the intention of like, I need to lose weight. It could just be about moving and feeling better.
Right, exactly. And so I think a lot of people place this emphasis on like their external physical body and not realizing that movement is so much more than that. It's a way to express yourself and get into that flow state for a lot of people. That's why my boyfriend surfs, like that's his form of like meditation. And so it's such a different experience when you come at it with that approach. It's so freeing and you look forward to doing it. It's something that you want to do. And it's not a form of punishment where you're like, oh, like dreading, like it's a to-do list, you have to check it off, like, oh man, I had a really fun weekend, like I ate a lot, like I better go to the gym and work it off, it's Monday. It's like that's just so limiting. And so yeah, the whole basis of this is just to kind of give you guys a different perspective and see different ways of thinking about movement and how it can benefit you and how you approach your exercise, whether you term it exercise or movement. We all have different forms of movement, and Megan will kind of touch on that in a little bit. So yeah, it's just important to catch your frame of thinking when you're going around and setting goals, of course, but also how you're approaching fitness. Like, is it something that you really enjoy doing? Do you enjoy moving your body? And if not, maybe there's a different form of movement that you need to explore. And, or you might be approaching it as that punishing, kind of limiting basis where, of course, you don't want to do it. No one wants to be restricted. No one wants to be punished into doing something. And so, yeah, Megan, why don't you touch on the different, like you said a little bit about the different methods of training, but how you would move or how you would use your body, maybe how you physically did yourself, how you kind of used it for freedom.
Yeah. So, I mean, a tiny bit of a backstory, but like I started getting into fitness and just exercise. Well, I played tennis all my life, but when I was young, like 18, my back started hurting. So then I started getting into like yoga and stretching, and that kind of just evolved into going on runs, and then runs turned into going into weights. But then I found the periodization program, which is a change in your program over time. One, so you don't get hurt, so you don't plateau.
Mm-hmm.
You keep getting results, and it's constantly changing. And the cool thing about it is that it's functional. So you train stabilization so that you have a strong core and you have a solid foundation, so that if I'm like turning to run to go grab something, or if I'm trying to balance on one foot to get something out of the cupboard, I can do it easily. And then, you know, you got power training where you can do strength plus speed, so I can easily rotate in a transverse plane of motion. And not all people know that we don't just walk in one plane. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you are turning in all planes of motion as you go about your day. So again, why wouldn't we want to train those so that when we go to do those, we don't hurt ourselves? So that's where exercise can really be freeing. And again, it's not necessarily about like, okay, well, I want to lose weight. I mean, sure, that's a good byproduct of it, but going about it like, I just want to be able to feel better. I want to be able to live better. I want to be able to go about my day with ease. And the more that we can go about our day with ease, that's the second by factor, besides the weight loss, is that
Mm-hmm.
confidence level, confidence to be able to go through your day with ease, like I said 3 times already. but
Okay.
but having that empowerment and feeling better about ourselves, it not only frees us of guilt, but it gives us confidence. It takes burdens away from us and empowers us to give us the energy to be able to thrive and carry out our life's mission, or be able to go through our day and play with our grandkids, get up and down on the floor, and, you know, help a friend move, like I said. So that's where really exercising can provide you with freedom. And then that energy that we get from being able to move about our day freely is cultivating. So if my body feels good because I'm working it good, if I can sit up a little bit taller at my day, like, that energy is going to carry over to you. You're going to see that I'm sitting up taller. Maybe you'll sit up a little bit taller. Or if I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, if I'm a little bit more confident, you're like, oh, well, we're mirrors. You know what I mean? So
Right.
our energies are going to match each other. So it's contagious.
Mm-hmm.
It really
That
is.
just reminded me of something. One of my old personal training clients, she was like in her 70s, and she would always say, like, after, you know, a couple of years working with her, I could see her posture changing, and she would always say, "Oh yeah, I'm driving around and I'm like, oh Kelly, like I remember my posture, like posture check," and I'm just like, oh, it makes me so proud. But it's not because she felt bad about doing it. It's more of like, okay, I made her aware of it,
Yeah.
and she was coming at it like you said. She had the goal of, you know, having better posture. Like, she wanted to be able to play with her grandkids and all this different stuff. So it's of course different with the life stage that you're in. And that's the other thing I wanted to touch on. A lot of people aren't aware that's like, it's okay, your body's going to change throughout life. So if you're always trying to keep this like perfect image in your head, like your physical body appearance, you're placing so much stress and pressure on yourself, because you can't stop your body from changing, like especially if you're a woman and you're going to have kids. Like, hello.
Yeah.
If you want to have kids, you're going to be, you know, a mom one day, and things just happen. Like, your body changes, and that's a normal thing. So it's about coming from this place of self-love and self-compassion and acceptance. And that's not something you get overnight. So it's definitely a form of practice, and it's a lifelong journey. But there's different things that you can do every single day, and, you know, implementing with your exercise a form of self-love. And exercise is self-care, right? But there's self-love that backs it up, that makes it so much more impactful for your goals, and honestly for you as a person. It's about learning how to connect with yourself. Like I said before, some people choose to do different forms of exercise for different things, like whether they feel more free and they get more of a flow state if they go surfing, or if they do yoga, it's just more freeing for them, like we touched on. but it also allows you to connect with yourself a little bit more and realize that you are more than your body. And that's a big thing that people, I think, miss in the fitness industry. It's like, yes, we're placing so much value on, movement, because it is important. Like you said, we want to be able to do these things for our everyday life and as we age. But we are more than our bodies, and our body is our physical vessel. It's our home, so we want to take care of it. So when you come at it that way, you have less of this like, I need to work out because I was so bad this weekend. It's like, no, I want to move my body because I care for my body. This is my home. And I know because I had fun this weekend, it doesn't mean I'm any less of a person or I'm not, unworthy of, X, Y, Z. I just had fun this weekend and that's it. And now I'm going to move on and I'm going to have a great workout. Like, I'm going to move my body. Let's move ahead. Let's keep going. So it's about coming at a more positive frame of mind. And that's what I always emphasize with my clients. And I know you do too, Megan. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I wanted to touch on. I think the emphasis of having this like self-love coming with that self-care, like it's almost like it needs to be a package, item. It can't just be self-care, because self-care is everything that we do with ourselves, like taking a shower essentially. And so taking a shower is like self-care essentially. So if it's not backed up with self-love, it's just kind of act. So finding that intention behind what you're doing, I think is very important with regardless of what you're doing. And so having that reason why is something a lot of coaches touch on. And yeah, so Megan, anything else you want to add?
Not really. I mean, I think we covered a lot of it. And I think just getting in a solid, like you said, it's a practice and making whatever you're doing consistent, whether it's strength training, whether it's stretching, whether it's writing, whether it's meditating, just being consistent with what you're doing for your body. And like you're saying, like, this is our home. And at the end of the day, if we don't take care of it, like, this is all we have. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So the how can everybody
stay in touch?
Yeah,
well, obviously on Instagram, and then if you want more information, like personally for me, feel free to message me. And I have a blog and things like that, but I also just created a mini course. It's 7 days long. It's called Unstuck Yourself, and basically it's 7 days. It's a great mindset course to kind of get you going into whatever goals you have set. It's 7 days to break free of doubt and build self-confidence so you can move forward and reach your wellness goals. So it's very individualized for you and it's self-paced, but essentially it's customized for you to be able to do bite-sized chunks in 1 week and then move on. Let's get unstuck. Let's keep moving forward kind of thing. And that's available in the link in my bio on Instagram. What about you, Megan?
And then I actually have an intro at-home workout in my link in the bio, and it's our periodization program. There's 3 workouts in it. There's a stabilization workout, there's an endurance workout, and a power workout. So it's a little bit of an intro to the way that we go about strength training and based around function. So if you'd like to try that, it's in there. And then also tonight at 6 p.m., I am hosting Evolve University, and Evolve University is a group fitness coaching session where I lecture a little bit and then open it up for a Q&A. And tonight we are talking about strength training to prevent falling. So the types of strength training to work around that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So functional. I love it.
Cool.
Well, this is great. We should definitely do another one of these. And maybe if people have recommendations, whoever's watching can give us some more topics they want covered, because this is awesome. But yeah, thanks so much for having me on and connecting, and I'll talk to you guys soon. And thanks guys for watching.
Thanks guys. Have a good day.
Bye.